my name is Nicole Jackson, and in this video I'm going to be working on 2.2 from Unit 2, where I'll be demonstrating how to make two different types of meals using two different methods. So here I am in my outdoor classroom. What you can see here is one of the things I have made, or two. You can vaguely see my tripod and my beak cut pot hanger. So I'm going to be using these today to make two meals. The first meal I'm going to make is a dal curry, where I'll be using the Dutch oven, and I'll also be baking some naan breads. And the second meal I'm going to make, I'll be baking a potato in some tin foil, like a jacket potato, and with beans. So two different types of meals, one with a lot more work, second with slightly less. And I'll probably just have some water on the boil as well, just to demonstrate three different ways of cooking today. So I'm going to start by making my fire, and for this I've started with just a simple fire lay to begin with, just a base layer of wood, of dry wood, and I'm just going to use cotton wool and Vaseline, which is my go-to. I love natural forms of tinder, but day to day, when I'm just doing bushcraft myself or with any groups, I just stick to standard cotton wool and Vaseline because it tends to be a lot more reliable. So from here I'm going to take out my knife from my sheath, and I'm going to take out my ferrocerium rod. And then from here I just want to fluff up a little bit more cotton wool, like so. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold my knife on the handle. I'm just going to scrape down the ferrocerium rod just to build up some like grains there. And then there we go, fire. So just going to put my knife away, cleaning the blade on the sheath, and put my ferrocerium rods away. And then from here I just want to start building my fire with smaller pieces of wood, just like this. It may go out, that's okay. So just thinking about the fire triangle, I obviously have my heat from the ferrocerium rod, oxygen, that's why I have gaps in the fire, and fuel. So I'm going to be starting with smaller pieces of kindling that I battened earlier, and then gradually increasing the size of the pieces. If this starts to go out, it's probably lack of fuel, so therefore I'd maybe add a bit more cotton wool and Vaseline if I need to, but hopefully we should be okay. As it's cooking as well, over here you may not be able to see, but I have my chopping board, which is washed and cleaned and ready to go. I also have some hand sanitizer, which I won't be using just yet, but it's here for myself, for clients, for learners. And I also have a huge amount of water here to put the fire out later. And often I would have some sort of recycling bins. This is just a more simplified recycling unit. This is just going to be for any leftover food, any peelings, and here is just for any bits of plastic that I may have from the cooking process. So my fire's doing okay. I'm going to let that build and maybe create a little bit more of a lean-to fire. So I'm just going to stack some slightly chunkier pieces over there. Lean-to is going to work pretty well, I think, today. Normally if I was cooking directly on this fire, like with a grill or just a pan on top, I would not use a lean-to fire lay, but because I've got my beak cut pot hanger, I think I can get away with it. So I'm going to give that a go. Okay, I'm going to let this burn a little bit more, let that wood break down, get some heat build into the fire, and then I am going to start cooking. So I'll be back soon. Okay, so my fire is doing pretty well. I'm just going to move my beet cut hanger for now, so that's going to set on fire. And from here I'm going to start making the base of my dal. So I'm just going to hang out here in the sun with my chopping board with my knife, and I'm going to sanitize my hands. There is the building you may be able to see vaguely behind me is where our indoor classroom is, and it's also where we can go wash our hands. So teachers, learners, anybody who is here. So we have that facility, but I always would have some hand sanitizer near me as well. My pot, my food waste. And for me, there is nothing I love more than just being out here, listening to the birds on a beautiful spring day or summer's day, or even winter's day really. Just being out, you can hear the birds, you can cook some nutritious food, hopefully I can share that with some people, some friends, some clients, some learners. So I'm really passionate about being able to share this with others. Through my forest school sessions, just in my personal life, it's something I love to do. So I'm gonna keep chopping away to make the base of my dal. So onions, garlic, ginger, some spices, and some coconut oil in the Dutch oven. And then I will update you once I've got a little bit further. Maybe once my water's boiled as well, which is just here. So with that I could boil some rice, but I'll probably make a tea or a coffee. So my coconut oil in my Dutch oven is lovely and hot. So now I can just put in my base of my onions, my ginger and my garlic. I'm just making sure that there's lots of oil in there, just because I am using a Dutch oven, and it's really important that all the ingredients doesn't stick to it. So just being super mindful of that. I'm going to let this cook a little bit longer, get the lentils in, the spices, and then I will be back again soon. Okay, so just a quick update. Here is my base of my onions, garlic, ginger, chili, spices, all sizzling away. And I've got my water in the background boiling. Well, not boiling yet, but getting there. And my fire's doing okay. So next I'm going to put in my lentils, coconut milk, tomatoes, and then just let it cook. So here I have a potato, jack potato, well, just a normal potato so far, wrapped in some tin foil. And I'm going to place this onto the hot embers of the fire. Now this is likely going to take a couple of hours. which is okay. I mean, this is the sort of thing I could put on at the start of a forest school session, say if it's a day session, say in the morning, and then by lunchtime it will be ready. So all good. The dal is doing really well, it's cooking nicely, and yeah, water's doing all right. Here we go, so the water is boiling, so hopefully that's looking pretty ferociously bubbling in there. Not quite, but it's starting to make a kettle sound, which is perfect. Hey again, so here is a little update on my meal. I have my naan bread, which is just cooking. Dal is pretty much there. Some of the lentils are still a little bit firm, but it's okay. And then my jacket potato is on the other side. Hello again, so here I am enjoying my dal and my naan bread, which I've made on the fire. And I have a little bit more naan bread. The dal is just staying warm. It's all cooked, but there's loads left. Jacket potatoes on there. I've had a drink and now there's some more water just simmering away. So all's good. So we have our beans which are boiling, and baked potatoes should all be done now too. So that's meal 2 of 2, showing 2 different methods of cooking.